So in the previous lesson, we talked about getting the fundamentals of understanding where your audience is, right? I gave you some tips. We also had some worksheets to help identify that. Now we're actually going to get into writing the ads. Now, basically one of the things that you really need to understand is, how are we going to get in front of the audience and how are we going to make them listen, right? And you have to really identify what your 3 objectives of your marketing and how Google can solve them really are. So first of all, what you have to really look at is the pain points, right? Pain points, right? The pain points are what are you solving and why are you achieving, why aren't you achieving your objectives with Google? One of the things that a pain point is, it's a particular problem that you're trying to solve. So if, I'm locked out of my car, then I need a locksmith and he's going to solve that. So your ad text needs to speak to, I could be at your car in 10 minutes and I can solve it, I can have it unlocked in 5, right? At a discount of cost. One of the things that you really need to understand whenever you're trying to identify your objectives, again, it's not what you expect your product to solve. You really need to look at your target audience, which we've already identified in the previous lesson, and what are they really trying to solve with your product. So as we break down the ad, again, what you're going to run into is you have your headline. These are the kind of the 3 components or 4 components of what your ad is, right? Then you're going to have your description and your call to action, which is part of your description. And something that a lot of people really don't take advantage of is actually the vanity URL. So I'm going to go more in depth whenever we get into the ad section. We actually have an entire lesson devoted to how to write ads and what the structure is and what type of ads they are. But I wanted to give you just a core understanding of how and what you should be looking to put into these particular sections, right? Your headline, obviously, whatever your pain point is, that should be your headline. If I'm trying to unlock my car, then I need to say something in the headline that says, hey, I'm here to unlock your car. If you're trying to, sell a particular dog treat, this is the most hardcore dog treat. My dog Bill, he tears everything up, right? So I'm looking for, this is a heavy duty, non-tear, durable toy, right? And that's something you're going to put in the ad. Your description is where you get into more of the details of the product, right? What's it made out of, what the actual price point is, and here's how we're going to solve your solution, right? It's something that is going to provide more detail as your product. Now your call to action, obviously it's buy my product here, click here, visit now. It needs to actually direct your customer to a particular action because unfortunately a lot of times, I've seen this through countless ads, if you don't tell your customer the particular action that you're trying to get them to solve, they're going to move on to the next ad, they're going to move on to the next campaign, especially if you're doing something on social, then they're just going to move on to the next story. Now, the vanity URL, this is a little sneaky thing where you can actually include your keywords. So like for me, mine's collateral growth, and we'll just kind of abbreviate cg.com, right? But what are we trying to do? We're trying to teach you AdWords. We're trying to make you successful within AdWords, right? You don't know what collateral growth is. We could be the consulting company. We could be all sorts of different things out there. And that's what you're going to help with the vanity URL is do that, right? We'll just put AdWords in there. One thing that the vanity URL gives you is it actually gives you more explanation as well as it actually gives you keyword relevance, which we'll cover in repeated lessons throughout the course. So now we're actually going to move on to one of the most important things, which you're probably wondering what affects your pocketbook and how it does. So moving on to bidding and budgeting within the next lesson. So go ahead and follow me over there while we go ahead and teach you how the actual money's spent and how you're going to control it and make sure you can be successful, you can save your money, but also increase your conversions.